Oh yeah, sexy biscuits. Nice.
Long goes 1975. A YouTuber's on the rise, reviewing games late at night and sometimes friends. But Long goes 1975.
Really not sure why it just says Hang On there on the title screen, but this is Super Hang On, released by Electric Dreams in 1989 on the Amiga, the Atari ST, the Spectrum, the Amstrad and the Commodore. It was their big game for Christmas that year, and all the ports are fantastic apart from the Commodore 64 version. Don't believe me? Look it up. I have a gameplay of the Spectrum version. It's absolutely superb. So Super Hang On was released in the arcades by Sega in 1987 using their super scaling technology, and it's a follow-up to the original Hang On that was released in 1985, and it improves upon it in every aspect. I love the original Hang On game in the arcades because I played it in an arcade with a cabinet. Played it in a cabinet? Small arcade, eh? Played it in an arcade with a cabinet was the full sit-down version, and my dad, well, ride version, had to hold the back of the bike and move it left to right because what was I in 1985? 10, and gravity was not my friend, and he used the bike to control the actual game. Played Super Hang On in Westwood Ho, but never played the full ride bike version, which is a shame because I really would have liked to. So it's an incredibly popular and famous arcade game by Sega, and yes, I'm going to be playing the A500 Mini version against my Megadrive Mini version, which once again, this is just a bit of fun. You could argue that's an incredibly unfair comparison video because the Amiga was a jack of all trades but master of none. Bear with me on that because it was a computer, so it was designed to do a whole bunch of stuff, whereas the Mega Drive was dedicated to one thing, games, so you would expect games to be better on it. But let's not forget what a dandy machine the Amiga was back in the day, because it was better than the PCs at the time. Anyway, someone said if you're going to do another one of these comparison videos, let's rig it a little bit more in the favour of the Amiga, Dave. Have a look at Super Hang On. You will have to play it with the mouse, but it's utterly fantastic. So I've got my little tank mouse plugged in. I have tried setting it to keys using the virtual keyboard and pressing C there, and it doesn't want a Scooby of it. So I've had one really quick go. To be fair, I've never played a racing game with a mouse before, but I have heard that for this, I think I still may manage to do a gameplay of it, or a bunch of arcade games on the Amiga years and years and years ago, and he said that the mouse was the way to go. So click mouse button to start game. There we go. Now if I press accelerate, we go around the map. We don't. We're going to go with beginner. Then I press right button, which is, oh look, left button. Accelerate is change music, right button is select, and right button is turbo in the game, which begs the question, what the bloody hell is brake? Right, so all your information is at the top of the screen, including the time, which is in the middle, speed, top right. Don't have to worry about gears in this game. How do I brake? This is awkward with a mouse. Right, and you know how far you are through the stages, top left. It's very nice and smooth. Now you got to remember, this is heads and shoulders above the stuff like Outruns and appalling ports on this machine. Absolutely shies and balls. Turbo Outrun's not too bad. This is far smoother than that. There's my turbos. Oh, look at the undulation. Word of the day, undulation. I just like the word. If you see me playing driving games, you'll notice that. Oh, hello. Brake. I think, it cannot be right that I just got, you can only use your turbo when you're going full on Harry Clappers. Can I cannot only brake by letting go of accelerate. This is a very new experience for me, playing a game with it. Well, to be fair, I haven't had a PC in years capable of playing games. Oh, hello. Graphics are really, really nice. They're a little small, but they look, you know, the part. They do resemble the arcade. The music's alright, actually. It's very, very smooth. I'm just not used to playing it with a mouse. Because of the way the colour is depicted, or displayed I should say, on how I'm playing this, you can't see the stripes on the grass and in the road to some degree that really give it an indication of speed. This is not working for me, a mouse. Get back on the road, you fucking plum-tard. Maybe I need an actual mouse mat instead of using a book. Yeah, I know. I'm all expenses, me. Game over. So sudden. To be fair, halfway through, that's not bad. First attempt with a mouse. I have no idea how I'm putting my name in. Do you know what? I'm reasonably impressed with this. Again, you've got to remember how shit a lot of the driving games were on this system. Not all of them. I'm struggling to think of any good ones. Crazy Cars 2 was alright. Chase HQ is pants. Turbo Outrun's alright, but doesn't look as nice as this. The original Outrun is a bucket full of shies and balls. Right, so fire. Junior, 10 stages. Winning run. Not applicable to how I'm going to be performing. I have no idea what that said. I haven't got my reading glasses on, and I'm 4 miles away from the TV. Literally 4 miles. Big house. Right, so I've got to get used to. Possibly I could play with the sensitivity, but for turning and shit. But there must be a way to brake. Obviously, if it involves using the keyboard, then I'm fucked, aren't I? I do like this. This is very fast. This is very smooth. The actual effects themselves are clearly better than pretty much every racing game I've ever seen on this system. By all means, let me know. The turning with the mouse is not working for me. It's just not working for me. So don't judge the performance of me playing this game on the actual game itself. That's because this is now literally the second time I've only ever played this with the mouse. Which obviously shows. We're going back to the first track. And also, again, a hardback book is possibly not the greatest thing to use for your mouse mat. Yeah, fuck it. Why not? Hard rude. Did you say centralised mouse? I don't know. I do like this though, the way it looks. Ooh. Obviously all my opponents aren't riding their bikes with mouses. Mice. I'm not gonna lie, considering this is the Amiga, the music's alright, but it's not the best, is it? This is the Amiga. It can technically, if it wants to, in the right hands, wipe the floor with the Megadrive when it comes to music. This mouse is not working for me. Every time there's a Mackie corner, and by that I mean slightly more than 4 degrees, I can't get round it. Ooh. But overall, the speed, the bikes, the smoothness, the undulation, the fake scaling, ooh, it all looks lovely. It really does. Well done, Electric Dreams. Well done. Or were you Activision at this point? Come on, where's my turbos? There. That is very satisfying. If a bit too fast, which is the fault of every version. I've just looked up and seen how many bloody stages there are. Jesus. Go back to easy stage. I'm very pleasantly surprised with this. In case you're wondering why the screen is really small, I've stopped doing the auto crop because it just makes the ratio go all squiffy and weird, and I don't like it, and crops a bunch of stuff off the top screen of the screen and the bottom of the screen. So I mean, if I find certain games where it's okay, then I'll play it, but for stuff like this, not so much a keeper. Not so much a keeper. Right, there we go. May as well. Yep. Come on. I could do it. And by that I mean I can't. I'm putting back on the mouse. That obviously doesn't do anything. I literally then, by all means people, correct me. I literally have to brake by let my finger off fire. That cannot be the future, because braking is such an integral part of this game. Because otherwise shit just finds your face rather quickly and rather frequently. Ooh, Hand cramp-tastic, this mouse. It's a bit too small. And let's be honest, the tank mouse was never the most sort of, oh you fucker, comfortable mouse in the first place, was it? Where's my turbos? Ooh. This is one thing about bike games, any racing game that's always pissed me off in the arcades, and this is not making it, get back on the road you remtard, is you hit an enemy and it's game over. Enemies hit you and it's like, what was that? I think that was a fly on my fucking helmet. Listen to the jazz flute. I'm sorry, I gotta play it. I gotta find a way to play this with a control pad. Even if this is the way to play it and I should learn it, it's too alien a feeling for me in a driving game. I only use mouses, mices in first-person shooters. This is like, no, not getting on with this. But that's not an indication of how bad a port or good a port this is. Let's just clarify that. And also, I'm not actually braking or letting go of fire. Getting back on the road. It's like I've got to take a bus. Well, now also, we're going to jump to the Megadrive version now. Oh, sweet, sweet control pad goodness. But overall, I'm actually pretty impressed with this. Just don't like the fact that I have to play it with, I thought the song was What Should We Do with the Drunken Sailor. Can you even sing that anymore? Do the Woke Brigade shit their pants and cry in a corner? But yeah, I'm just not getting on with it playing with a mouse. But let's jump to the Megadrive version, albeit running on my Megadrive Mini. So here we go with Super Hang-On the SEGA Megadrive, albeit running on my Megadrive Mini, released by SEGA themselves in 1989. And it does give you a password system, which is kind of cool. Now, you've got to remember, right, so the Megadrive was released in Japan in late 88, and then it was released in North America in 89, but it did not arrive in the UK until 1990, which is shocking. And it's also shocking that it was a shite PAL 50Hz version, but that didn't affect me because I had a Japanese Mega Drive I imported and I got in very early 1989. But the point I want to make about me spouting pointless rubbish then was, this is an extremely early title. This is practically a launch title, and it bears an incredible resemblance to the arcade. It looks absolutely fantastic, and that's what they promised us when this system came out. So once again, this is a bit of fun. It's a bit harsh to compare a machine that's dedicated only for the purpose of games to a machine that is essentially a computer that's whole purpose is it can do a whole, you know, plethora of tasks. And you got to remember, the Amiga was pretty spanky back in the day because it was better than the PCs at the time. So this kind of has a stigma to it with me, which is we're going to a new game, arcade mode, original mode. Lots of early Mega Drive games did this because they, you know, the arcade mode itself could be considered to be quite short. The same with Super Monaco GP. They would give you an extra mode, which in this case, I'll show you it very briefly, which isn't fair on the Amiga version. But look at this. See, a whole kind of, you know, proper into it, I wouldn't say management mode, but you know what I mean, far more in-depth mode. Yeah, so they gave you loads of stuff. These were big selling points and stuff like that, but not fair to compare it to the Amiga, I know. Also, again, as I said, the Amiga is a computer. This is a dedicated games console, but it's my channel and I like doing stuff like this. It's just a bit of fun. But yeah, this to me and some other people, we kind of have we assume of it as a cheap little budget title, and it has a bit of a stigma attached to it, which is not its fault. It's just because it ended up on a bunch of game compilation cartridges, such as the Mega Collections, and that just kind of made you think it was like a budget title. That might just be a throwback to my days of the Spectrum and compilation tapes. But when this got released, I remember seeing the reviews, and I borrowed it off someone at school a few years later, who finally got an import Mega Drive a year or so after I did. Probably just beat to the punchy English ones, but in the magazines and borrowing that, like, I was just blown away by the size, especially when you considered what, you know, arcade ports were like on the 8-bits, including the Master System, because I had that and I love Hang On that. But that bike was cool. This bike is huge. Right, so let's get into it. I haven't played this in years, and I like jumping into these things right off the bat as a newbie. So new game, arcade mode. Same stage selection, which is the same as the arcade beginner stage. Now I can tell you that the music's better on this, which is poor because the Amiga in the right hands could wipe the Mega Drive's ass when it came to music. Right, so... Oh, hang on. No. Ooh! A is brake, B is accelerate, therefore C is turbos. Why is B accelerate? Anyway, all your information is at the top of the screen as you would expect, less like it was on the Amiga, which makes you realise that the Amiga was a really good, you know, rendition of the arcades, or representation I should say. Information. The music's really, really nice. Speed, top right and stuff like that. Oh, do I get a mini mushroom cloud? Apparently not. But this is lovely. Again, this is like, what, 5 months? Maybe not even 6 months, correct me if I'm wrong, after the launch of the Mega Drive. This is when you knew that you were finally going to get the chance to get, well, we would have said arcade perfect ports. We know better now. Oh, turbos. But it was such a step up. And it looks fantastic. Now, while it's not fair also because I don't want to put auto crop on the Amiga, which would have made it full screen, but it would have cut stuff off and made it a bit clunky. So this will always look a bit bigger. It is bigger sprites though. But this, so we can't be, you know, too harsh on Amiga for that. The fact that it was such a small screen, or the fact that I was shit at it because I was playing it with a mouse. But I think it's safe to say this is a better looking game. But another reason I wanted to do this comparison video is, like I said, is I wanted to show you that not everything was going to be as night as day as Strider. And the thing is, this is a far better, considering it's such an early Mega Drive game, you know, racing game graphically and everything else, that a whole bunch of other stuff that came later, like the god-awful Turbo Outrun. Looking at you again, Teartax. I keep forgetting I got turbos. I do not like this control layout. I have to play it crab-handed. And there wasn't an option, was there? And I am aware I'm still awful at this. I'm talking, alright? You shouldn't talk when you ride a bike. It's... What am I doing? 293 miles an hour? 329? Whew. Surprised I haven't gone back in time yet. So there is no option. Why have you given me such balls controls? Go with that one. Right, we know what accelerate is now. Also, you can't move left or right straight out of the blocks. I don't know if that's to stop you turning immediately into another bike, but that's not going to happen because they all piss off Harry Clappers. There you go, got it now. Right, so look at it. I mean, the undulation and everything was great on the Amiga, but this just looks, and considering this doesn't have any actual dedicated hardware for sprite scaling, nor does the Amiga, but look how smooth your opponent's bikes are. I thought that was, is that two people doubled up? Get a room. Woo, cheeky, saucy, in other words to that effect. Again, considering this is such an early Mega Drive game, this looks fucking amazing. I haven't played this for years, so you'll have to excuse my jaw hitting the floor again. Why didn't we get Enduro Racer on the Mega Drive? That was just criminal. Could have done it. There's a great version of that on the Spectrum as well. Cheeky. This proves it could have done it. This proves it could have done a lot more racing games. Oh, probably could have had a decent version of Chase HQ. Or the ZX Spectrum version is still the best. Pants. That's not about that game, that's about my piss poor riding skills. There, then. Ooh. That still sounds like an alien machine gun. Do you know what? It's not often, actually to be fair, it's quite often. Although maybe not so much in this case, because the last racing game I played on the Mega Drive was Road Rash, and this is a different game with better graphics. That for such an old game, I'm this impressed. Oh, not impressed with the controls though, Sega. You should have retroactively fixed them on the Mega Drive. Is this on the Mega Drive Mini by default, or is it just because mine's got every game on it? Yeah, every game. That's how I roll. And I'll tell you how else I roll in this game. Pretty shitly. We'll go back to your first stage. So, sum up. Do you know what? We have a winner, but that's not what this series of videos about, because I want to do more of these and show that, you know, even though it wasn't a dedicated machine, the Amiga could do some absolutely decent, you know, and very good arcade conversions. And this, I honestly believe, is one of them. If I can just find a way to not have to play it on the bloody mouse. Well, I could just learn it, or I could just buy a mouse mat and get some traction, or I could just get a white stick, points the quote. I was going to say you might have to have a look at Space Harrier next, but obviously, shockingly and criminally as well, Space Harrier never made it to the Mega Drive. And don't say Space Harrier 2 did. That doesn't count, because it's Space Harrier 2. Why would you do that, Sega? Why would you do that? PC Engine port. Oh, we could do against the PC Engine, couldn't we? The PC Engine port of Space Harrier is my actual favourite home port. Honestly, it's bangerifically tastic. Just invented that word. Feel free to use it. You're welcome. Ooh. And the music's great as well. If there's any games you were likely to do, and you know what consoles I have, which is pretty much everything, let's be honest, but 16-bit wise, against ports on the Amiga that you remember being very, very good, then leave a comment, let me know, and I'll get on that if I can. And, ooh, at least I'll get back on the road on this one. Cheeky. I'm saying stuff like cheeky even though I'm appalling at this. It's been a few years, alright. There we go. It's over. Oh, shizen. But yeah, so, anyway, as always, I'd love to know what you think. Again, it's just a bit of fun. It's a bit, you know, unfair to compare these systems, but hey, it's my channel, I do what I want. But yeah, seriously, if you have any suggestions, that, you know, stuff that had a really good port on the Amiga compared to its 16-bit brethren, whether it was consoles or not, then let me know. Thank you. Why aren't you turbossing, you bastard? Let me know and I'll do my best. Thank you very much for watching. And I'll just flute. I'll see you later. Cheeky. Ooh, come on. Where's the stage? Can't be far off. Ooh, 4, 3, come on. Ah, and now you have my permission to leave. Alright.